We are in summer right now, and how does summer rank in your seasons?
Number uno.
Number one.
Uno, baby.
Has something to do with that Florida
That
upbringing,
sun,
huh?
man,
Yes.
the sun.
Sun will shine again. Better days coming on the horizon. The rain will finally end. Clouds disappearing. Tomorrow's your friend.
Hello, and welcome to the sweet spot. Oh my
Welcome
goodness.
to the sweet spot.
Wow, I need some energy back from you.
That was pretty good.
Yes,
that long
okay.
hello, just I didn't know what to say after that. I was just like, okay, hello.
That's awesome. Good, good. It's crazy when you kind of think about life and all that it shapes. There are so many different seasons of life, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and we have to embrace them all.
Right, embracing them all. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today is just the seasons themselves, right? The summer season. We are in summer right now, and how does summer rank in your seasons?
Number uno.
Number one.
Uno, baby.
Has something to do with that Florida
That
upbringing,
sun,
huh?
man,
Yes.
the sun. It's something about that kiss of sunlight that just, it makes me just feel like I'm in my sweet spot.
Summer is, I think.
I love summer.
Summer's a favorite for, I think, would you say most people prefer summer?
You know what? I don't know. It's hard to say because a lot of people they're not crazy about all that heat.
Yes.
But I love it.
Right.
I love it.
But when you talk about the favorite time of year, so summer's in the running at least.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And so summer itself. So one is the heat for you. That's number one.
Oh, I love the heat. I love the relaxation of summer because it's like you don't feel as busy, as rushed, it's like you have a little downtime, right? To just relax and chill in the backyard, by the pool, barbecue, have some friends over. It just makes you relax.
Makes you relax.
Yeah.
That we do experience so many seasons in life, and summer is a time, I think, that I really enjoy myself. I love summer. I think I can say that and say that with conviction that I love summer. Summertime, football season begins, right? Yeah. So we do go to training camp and football begins in the summertime. But I've always looked at summer from a kid, right? With the eye shot of, this is the most amazing time. One,
Fun.
we don't have to go to school.
Yeah, it's
right?
fun times.
Two, it's fun all the time. Where you're playing more, you're out more, you're more active, and that active is because it's warmer. Whether you're in school or wherever you are, right? You can be more active in the summertime.
Yeah, and for me, it's like it has to do with it encourages or pushes me to be more fit.
Ah, excellent.
Right? Because you're wearing lighter clothing and you want to be fit. So it pushes you to, take
Exercise
care
a
of your
little bit more.
body a little bit and exercise and, be fit.
Yeah, and people, I think vacation probably happens more in the summer than any other season,
yes,
right?
for sure.
So
sure.
it is that relaxation as well you were talking about, right? And I think when I think of summertime, I get this peaceful feeling, this calm feeling that I'm not, as you say, so rushed
You're not
and
rushed, yeah.
so many things that are going on, and summer is really a sweet time of year, isn't it?
It is. And we need some of that in our lives because, we shouldn't be, as human beings, we're always rushed. We always feel like we have to go. But sometimes God just wants to reel us in, right? And just say, you know what, take a moment. Take a moment, sit down, and just chill a little bit, right? And that's a great time to spend more time with Him as well.
That is very true, right? We talk about spending more time with friends and family. It's also a time to spend more time with God, right?
Absolutely. Be refreshed.
Very good,
Right?
very good. I like that. I like that. So we do experience all of these different things in life, and for some people, the summertime is miserable. It's just too hot, right? And it's just too much heat, and so it's not easy for everybody. We have to acknowledge that, right? Other people are busy. I need to do something. The relaxation is a tough thing for them. But we want to learn to embrace every season of life, right? And that is sort of a figurative sort of concept here today. But if we could think about summer in these two concepts and match them along, if you'll go with us as our listeners and just try to come along with us on this little ride a little bit. We want to go through the 4 seasons. And when I think of summer, I think of heat and relaxation, as you've pointed out. Right? And when I think of heat, I know you love it. You love it, don't you? Right? And so if we think about that fruit of the Spirit, we're going to try to match the seasons up with the 9 fruits of the Spirit, right? The very first one we talk about is love, right? In Galatians 5:22, the fruits of the Spirit is there. And the first one is love. And you love the heat.
I
right?
love the heat. I really do. I love it.
And then I guess as we go on from there, the next one is relaxation. And relaxation, that fruit of the Spirit, that relaxation reminds me of is peace. Love and peace, right? And so as we live, we will go through different seasons, right? And as we go through those different seasons, we want to go through them with both love and peace, right? But that's not all. We got some more seasons to come, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So how about spring, right? What does spring, well, spring, first of all, is spring training, right? We think of that in baseball, you know, and the weather's getting better and all of those things. What do you think about when you say spring?
Spring, I think, new beginning.
Okay, yes.
Right? New beginnings because everything's starting to bloom.
Yes.
The flowers are coming out. You're getting the leaves on the tree. Everything's turning green. It's like a fresh start.
Yeah, and you know, and it's easier to understand that since we've moved to Canada, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, in Florida, it seems like a lot of stuff is blooming all year round, right? And but when you're here and you see things actually wither and they go away, right? I don't think we have a good understanding, as great an understanding of nature down in Florida where the weather's great all the time, because a perennial, right? A flower, right? That dies, that withers, that goes away, right?
Yeah.
And then every year at springtime, boom, it comes back. Like for someone who lives here, right? So someone who lives in a colder climate, right? They like, oh, that's like the simplest thing. But if you grew up in Florida, right? And because so when they said perennials, when I first bought perennials at the store, right? And they say they come back every year, right? I saw the thing die, and I was like, that's not coming back. There's no way that thing is coming back.
But yet?
Yes, I thought I had a bad flower. I thought I was going to be taking them all back. Yes, so at the...
every year comes back. Yeah, that is pretty amazing.
That is,
it's
isn't
pretty
it?
amazing.
Yeah, so, and you know, when I think of that, right, we talk about those fruits of the Spirit, a new beginning, right? Spring is that new beginning, right? When I think of new beginnings, right, there is this idea of a baby born. A new beginning, joy, man, just unspeakable joy, right? When I think of a new beginning, it's someone who got a new job, or they got, you know, their brand new business, right? Or new home, right? Whatever that is, right? And there's a real joy that's associated with that for me, right? Does that make sense?
I agree.
So, anything else the spring reminds you?
Let's see. You're excited because you know that you're going into a different season.
Right.
Right, you're going
yeah,
into
there's a stark contrast between. So some seasons fade. Summer to fall is a little bit more subtle, right?
Yeah.
But winter to spring,
Oh
my.
boy, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the other thing spring reminds me of is just fresh, right? Just everything is fresh. The smells are so acute in the springtime, where in the wintertime, you're almost numb to smell, right? Because things are, the weather,
They're non-existent.
Kills things off, but there's a freshness I believe about springtime, and freshness for me reminds me of a fresh spirit or kindness, right? And so as we talk about those seasons of life and kind of making the parallel here of the 4 seasons that drive our weather patterns, freshness, right, for me reminds me of kindness. So if you can kind of embellish a little bit, right? The summer, right? That's heat. That's love. Love the warm weather, baby.
Yeah,
right?
baby.
And relaxation as well in the summertime. And for me, that's peace. Right? And if we move on to the springtime, new beginnings, I think of joy. Right? And freshness, I think of kindness. Right? Just that getting that fresh start. Right? It is always a wonderful thing. Right? So how about now fall? What do you think of when you think about fall?
Fall. I love fall because if you're into fashion,
come on now,
you really enjoy fall.
You know anybody that's into fashion?
Not me. Not me. But that's when you get to, bring out the boots and bring out the nice jackets and, you get to dress up in the fall clothing, and it's just something about fall that you're like, oh, it makes you, I don't know, it's just something special about fall. And not just that, you get all the colors. There's beauty in fall. Because you see all these different colors coming in, and it's just, I don't know, fall is pretty cool.
Yes.
I remember our first fall here when we moved to Canada, because growing up in Florida, you didn't see the 4 seasons. I'm sorry, it was just hot all year round, right? But coming here for the first time and seeing fall in its glory and all the colors on the trees, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite season. I love this. It's beautiful. It's beauty in fall.
There is beauty in fall, and what would you also sort of say? What is anything else I should say that you would say? Because it's definitely beautiful, and that aspect of it, it's the thing. A really cool thing in fall is that we go to certain places to look at the trees, right? In other words, we go to find the beauty, right? And if we could do that in our lives, right? If we could go search.
All right, preach now.
Go find the beauty in life, right? That's a really good habit to reinforce, understanding as we go in through our seasons of life is that we're searching for that. We're looking for good, if you will, right? So what that beauty reminds me of is that fruit of a spirit they call goodness, right? We're looking for the good, and
I like that one. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that goodness. That's good.
Yeah. So okay, and I know that there's fall almost has 2 seasons in of itself, though, doesn't it? Right. So fall has that changing of leaves, and then it has that almost winter feel, right?
Crisp. It's crisp.
Yeah, crisp.
Yes.
Crisp. Yes.
That's true. That's true. Well, that's good. I love that. I love that comparison.
So with that when we talk about that color and that beauty, right? there's also the calm before the storm, right?
Oh, yes.
So those are the two things I think that coexist in fall. Is that beautiful change of color. Weather's still warm, everything's good. We're kind of soaking everything in. Then the weather becomes a little bit more crisp, right? And we know that winter storm warning is coming.
It's coming.
Eventually, right?
It's coming.
But there's a wonderful calm about it on a cool, crisp fall afternoon, right? That there's a, if you will, a gentleness, right, about a fall day where it's crisp, not cold, but not hot, right? You can feel it, but it's refreshing, it's regenerating, and so when I think of that late fall day, I really think of the calm before the storm, or if we could call it that gentleness. We know the rugged weather is coming, right? But there's a gentleness, and so in life, life really has a gentleness to it as well, right?
Because we're going to go through storm. In life, we're going to go through struggles. We're going to go through hardships. We're going to go through those things. But there is that peace that you can find, that gentle peace, that sweet peace that you can find amongst all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. And I want to, kind of get you ready for this. Right?
Uh-oh.
So
Should I hold on to my chair here?
yeah, you got to hold on to your chair.
Should I
right?
just
We gotta
grab
loosen
my
up. Yeah,
seat and just, I'm shaking now.
So there is another season called winter.
I said I'm shaking.
Yes. Now, I propose if summer is your favorite season, winter is probably your second favorite.
I don't like winter.
But listen, we're supposed to embrace every season.
I know.
There's nothing you like about winter?
No. There isn't. No. I don't like being cold. I don't enjoy just walking outside and I'm just like just freezing. I don't like winter. I'm not a winter. Winter means hibernation for me.
Okay.
I hibernate. I'm not into winter sports. I don't like being out in it. I go out only if I have to go. I like being at home in front of the fireplace. That's a time when I just want to it's comfort. It's just, it's onesie. You guys know what I mean. The onesie, the hot chocolate, the good movies. Yeah.
So in a strange way, you do enjoy something.
Well, yeah, in a strange way.
Yes. So
if it's not outdoors.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
So you enjoy being inside by the fireplace, snuggled up, right? So there is something in winter that you enjoy.
Yeah.
And this is a very important point because we're talking about seasons of life. The reality is we don't love everything that life has to bring.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
That is a truth, right? But God can provide a blanket and a fireplace for us.
All right.
He can give us comfort, or what I would maybe more relate to as the calm, not before the storm, but the calm in the storm. Right? Having that calm, that peace, even while it's, snowing outside and the weather's cold, the wind is blowing, right? He can put that blanket over you. He can give you shelter from the wind and the rain and put that blanket on you and turn the fire on and it can be warmer, right, in winter for you inside in front of the fireplace with a blanket than it is in the summertime.
All right.
Yeah.
I see where you're going with this. I like it. I like it.
So really important to understand that we don't love everything in life, right? Everything that we have to go through, and we're
Yeah.
going through the storm.
That's
The
right.
storm is difficult, right?
That's right.
But the wonderful thing to know is that God can give us, right, a calmness, a comfort,
That's right.
even in the storm.
That's right. That's right. And we have to learn to embrace it.
Yes.
Even if we don't like it, we have to learn to embrace it.
Indeed.
Okay, I accept that.
Okay.
I accept that.
Excellent, excellent. The harder thing, though, to do is not just to kind of have a calm in the storm, but is to learn to embrace the storm. Right? I often have referred to the bombing at the Boston Marathon. What a tragic incident that was, and the crazy thing was, though, that they had all of these, both people from the general public and people in the first response team that were all running towards what the explosion, right? Running towards the challenge. And so we talk about embracing the storm, embracing the challenge. I believe champions have always embraced the challenge, right? That's what they do. And so as we're going through that storm in life, one thing is God can give us calm amidst the storm. It's a whole nother level, though, to embrace the storm. Right? When we talk about Job going through all the trials and tribulations, right? And still, right, he would not deny God,
That's
right? He embraced that challenge. He embraced that season of his life. And then with that, he was given so much afterwards, right? But he really did embrace that challenge, right?
Yeah, that's so true.
Good.
Beautiful.
Good. Excellent.
Beautiful.
Excellent. Excellent. So we are talking about embracing all the seasons of life, and in doing so, we have gone through summer, spring, fall, and winter in our own way, kind of maybe comparing those to the fruits of the Spirit. And so when we get to talk about winter, calm in the storm, that's patience, right? Calm in the storm, that's patience. And then to be able to embrace the storm is faithfulness, right? It's holding on to God, just as we talked about Job, holding on to
I like
God,
that.
even when it's difficult, even when there's a challenge, we're still holding on to God at that time. I think we could add self-control to that as well, right? That would be the ninth fruit of the Spirit. So being able to control your emotions yourself, even in the most difficult time, right? Being in the cold and going out and embracing the challenge of the cold, whether that's self-control, right? Even though you're a little cold, even though this is not my favorite weather, I still got to go and get it done, right?
Yeah.
So
Suck it up.
Still making it happen, right? So as we've gone there, I think we've gone through all 9 fruits of the Spirit, right?
Isn't that something?
So summer,
I love
heat.
the comparison between the seasons of life and then the fruits of the Spirit. Like, I love it.
Yeah. So as we kind of embrace that whole thing, we'll go back over them all. Summer, right? We talk about heat, and you love heat, right? And so want to have that thing that we love about life on a consistent basis, right? Because our goal is to embrace all of these all the time, right? So not just during summer.
That's right.
So we want to love, right? As just like you love heat, right? During the summer, want to love relaxation, right? Even amid stress, right? God can give us a peace that transcends all understanding, right? So we can have that peace. In springtime, we talk about new beginnings. What a joy, the birth of a new baby, all of those new beginnings. There's a joyful thing about that. Spring is also fresh, right? To me, freshness is kindness, right? There's a freshness about spring that really, for me, imitates what is just having a fresh outlook, a fresh spirit, being a generous spirit, and being kind. And then when we moved to the fall, we talked about just finding the good, how we search out for that color in the fall and searching out the good for life. And so goodness there. So love, peace, joy, kindness, goodness. Also in the fall, the calm before the storm, right? And that's that gentleness, that whether you know the storm is coming, but it looks so peaceful out, it looks so amazing, so gentle. And there's a kindness to fall that's going to yield to the abruptness of winter, right? But there is that gentleness that is in fall that must give way. But we do have the calm before the storm, but the storm will come, right? And that is in that winter time, and in the winter we have to have patience. So not just calm before the storm, but calm in the storm, right? Also, right, when we elevate and we get better, there's an ability to actually embrace the storm, right? And that is then being faithful and exercising self-control, love, peace, joy, kindness, goodness, gentleness, patience, faithfulness, and self-control.
Self-control. Love it.
All right, how sweet it is.
Love it.
I am reminded of Dr. Martin Luther King when he gave the last sermon, the last speech of his life.
Oh, yes.
And it's a speech that says, I've been to the mountaintop and I've seen the promised land. But the part of the speech that I really love, I think really kind of goes, you kind of skip over it because all of that meat that goes on at the end of that speech, he says so much and is so dynamic. But right at the beginning of the speech, I love, he says, if I were standing at the beginning of time with the possibility of taking a panoramic view of the whole of human history up to now, and the Almighty said to me, Martin Luther King, which age would you like to live in? He said, I would take my mental flight by Egypt, or rather across the Red Sea, through the wilderness and toward the promised land. And in spite of its magnificence, he said, I wouldn't stop there. He said, I would move on by Greece and take my mind to Mount Olympus, and I would see Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, Euripides, and Aristophanes assembled around the Parthenon as they discussed the great and eternal issues of reality. But I wouldn't stop there. And as he went on, he'd say he'd go on by the Roman Empire, but he wouldn't stop there. He said, I'd go on to the day of the Renaissance, and he wouldn't stop there. He said, I'd go on to the day when Martin Luther, the man by which he's named, tacked his 95 thesis on the church at Wittenberg. He says, but I wouldn't stop there. As he went on, he says, strangely enough, I would ask for a few years in the second half of the 20th century. And of course, that was civil rights times when they were fighting for the right to vote, the right to be considered a full citizen.
That's right.
And through this, it's, that word strangely enough is what jumps out, or the two words that jump out at me. Say, strangely enough, I would choose this time, the time that I'm living in, right? So after all of those things, right, he says, I would choose this time, right? This is my chosen time. And I think God has chosen each of us for this time, right?
Amen.
And so we will go through seasons in life, and I think finding your sweet spot is choosing the season that you're in. Right?
Well said. Very well said. That was awesome. The seasons of life. So we just want to thank you today for spending some time with us here in this sweet spot. And if you're going through something, if you're going through a season in your life where you don't know where to turn, you're struggling, you know what? Just take a moment. Take a moment and just spend some time in the Word. Spend some time with God. Talk to Him. He really is a cool dude, and He is there for you. He is there to answer all your problems. He says, cast all your cares and your burdens upon me, and I
will give you rest.
Amen. I will give you rest.
And if we can leave you with Galatians 5:22 as well, that's where the fruits are the Spirit, and we didn't say them in order because we were saying them according to the seasons, but all of the fruits of Spirit are there, and that's what God endows to us when we become followers of Christ, and we can live with all those things in good times and bad. We can embody love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control.
Amen. Until next time, we want you to stay in your sweet spot.
Woo!
Sun will shine.